Work hard for what you want in life.
You work hard for what you want in life.
That your word is your bond, that you do what you say you're going to do.
That your word is your bond, and you do what you say.
That you treat people with dignity and respect.
That you treat people with respect.
Reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard.
The strength of your dreams and your willingness to work for them.
Work hard.
Work hard.
Work hard.
Work hard.
Work hard. Work hard.
Hey guys, this is Tatum.
And it's your girl
And
Milan.
welcome to episode 9 of the Black Girl Boss Podcast.
And we get 10.
So, on today's episode, I want to start by talking about this post that I saw on Instagram. So, Business Rules for Women posted this, and it was an observation of something that she saw with Sophia Amoruso. So Sophia Amoruso, for you guys that don't know, is the founder of Nasty Gal, and she is the author of the Girl Boss book, which is, to be honest, it's become like the female entrepreneur manual. Yeah, right, the guide at this point, because there's really no other book specifically for female entrepreneurs. And it's honestly just a memoir. It just goes over her life and things like that. But so Sophia Amoruso is somebody that is well respected in the girl boss world. Mm-hmm. So Business Rules for Women posted, and I'm just going to read the caption before we talk about it. She said, interesting observation and dialogue today with hashtag Sophia Amoruso. I visited the hashtag Girl Boss Rally link today, and to my surprise, out of the 43 speakers, there were only 3 Black women. 3. Do you know how many of my Black and brown friends bought the Girl Boss book or call themselves a girl boss? So many. Where is their representation? Why are we still saying sorry with all that's happening? Oh, pause before I go on. She had commented on Sophia Amoruso's page, basically saying that there's no representation of women of color. And Sophia was like, you're right, we should do better, I'm sorry. So that's where this comes from, like, why are we still saying sorry? Right. So she says, why are we still saying sorry in 2017 for not being inclusive of intersectionality? With all that is happening in the U.S. and beyond, why not create something for all women? Quote unquote pro-women movements and brands that benefit from all races but lack intention and marketing to women of color, specifically Black women, speaks to me as a woman, a leader, a marketer, creator, content creator, etc., in a tone that I can't ignore. Like most of you, I follow women that are doing impressive things for other women. I get excited about cool events and content, but today I was taken back by the layout of the upcoming Girl Boss event. She said, frankly, it's cute, but lacks true substance. So I'm not going to read the rest of this because I already said a lot.
I think I get the point.
But you get the point of her whole concern. And this is at Business Rules for Women on Instagram. So what do you think about this? Why are you blinking like that?
Because, I mean, I don't... How can I say this in the nicest way possible? No, whatever. I don't know what she expected. Like,
yeah.
I don't... Like, where Sophia comes from, there's not many Black people or not much diversity at all. Mm-hmm. She's a white woman. She can... That's like... for us or white women getting mad that we can't really speak to them in a sense. We can only speak on us. I get what she's saying. Like, okay, as a woman speaking for girl bosses, because it's such a broad, name, you should cater to all. But in the same sense, she doesn't know how because she may not have been introduced to that. So, I mean, we have to look at it like that. So instead of complaining on it and dwelling on it, as a Black woman who's big on diversity, create that diversity. I feel like we take too much time complaining and whining about shit instead of fixing it and just taking that like, okay, mental note, stay woke. We always saying stay woke. Okay, stay woke and do something about the shit. Like, stop posting an Instagram post that you probably gonna delete 3 weeks from now that ain't nobody gonna see. Just create something.
I agree. To be honest, I don't really care if Sophia Amoruso includes Black women or not. I don't care if she had 167 white women on there. I do not care. And the thing is, so I'm gonna give you my opinion from 2 perspectives. Okay. One, from a marketing perspective, we talk about in the show all the time, if you're marketing to everybody, you're not marketing to anybody. And so her target audience is not Black women.
Simple as that.
We may and like buy her stuff because we like it. And that's just like with anybody else's business. You may have other customers or other consumers, but they may not necessarily be who you're selling to directly. We're not who she's selling to directly. Now, is there a problem with that? That's arguable. But if her ultimate goal is to make money or women empowerment and the women she's trying to empower is white, I can't be mad if I'm not the target she's trying to reach.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think that I don't really expect more from white women.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what do you expect? Out there hundreds and hundreds of years. What are you expecting?
And I mean, this in our country now is the most divided it's ever been.
Yeah.
And so that was my opinion from a marketing perspective. Now, from a Black woman perspective, you could probably say, like, we created the Black Girl Boss podcast. Everything that we do is for Black women.
Right.
So other people or white women may say that we're not being unified because we're not what's the word she used? Intersectionality. We're not inclusive of intersectionality because we're the Black Girl Boss podcast. And I will tell you, yeah. We marketing to Black women. I don't care about empowering white women.
We created something for us.
We created something
for the lack thereof that we have in resources. We created something.
We created something by us, for us, by us. Ain't that what FUBU? Ain't that FUBU's acronym? But we created something for us, so it's kind of like I understand where the woman who wrote this concern comes from, because she's absolutely right. Yeah. And she has a right to be tired of these brands not including Black women. But at the same time, I personally would just prefer to do what I can on a hands-on basis to further my culture and to help build up Black women, as opposed to fighting for unity. Fuck it. I want to, empower us.
Because at the end of the day, she don't owe you shit. So you're looking for an apology from somebody who don't owe you shit. Like, that's what she's looking for. And that's what's making me bad. Like, you want her to apologize. Can she apologize now? What? You feel better?
No, but she didn't want her to apologize. She said that she shouldn't be saying sorry. It's 2017. She should just do better.
But she don't know how to do better because she's not focusing on us. Then she just can't do better. And we just got to get off of it and just get over it. And them comments was taking me there because I'm like, okay, what do y'all want?
Yeah. And let me find, there was a comment that stuck out to me specifically.
Tatum got receipts, y'all.
So the Instagram comment says, I'm not even going to say who it's by because that's unnecessary, but this woman said, many feel as though they have to market to Blacks. A lot of Black people don't like to support anything associated with Black. It's a reason that a lot of Black businesses are using mixed looking and Latina models to promote their product. A lot of Black women don't or can't accept true images of themselves. We have been brainwashed to look down on each other and think that anything we are selling or promoting is cheap and ghetto. Excuse me, ma'am. There are a few, a few things in this comment.
She was deep.
So first of all, I don't even understand it. I have a real problem with people comparing apples to oranges. Like, if things don't make sense, don't compare them.
Right.
The whole point of this post is saying that Sophia Amoruso is not being inclusive of Black women when she has this woman empowerment movement.
Right.
So in essence, Sophia Amoruso, while I don't personally care what she does, she has a movement that says that she should be inclusive of everybody, since it's a girl boss movement and the women empowerment movement. So I understand why Business Rules for Women posted this, because it's a valid concern. So with this woman saying that, so she's saying that many feel as though people have to market to Blacks. And I don't think that's what she was saying. I don't think she's saying that Sophia Amoruso or all brands have to market to Blacks. We're just saying be inclusive of everybody.
If you have a brand that speaks so broadly.
Exactly. Then be inclusive of everybody. Whatever. So the next one, she says, a lot of Black people don't like to support anything associated with Black. I think that's a damn lie. What do you think?
I think that we're becoming more supportive of our culture in a sense. But we still have that stigma of what I talked about 2 weeks ago, of how we get turned off from Black businesses due to the lack of customer service, due to the lack of knowledge of their brands and their producing certain things. So
but I'm gonna take her sentence for exactly what it is. She said a lot of Black people don't like to support anything associated with Black, saying that if it's Black, I'm not messing with it. I don't think that's true. I actually look for Black people to support.
I think we're getting more, supportive of each other from what I'm seeing.
But I do think it's that stereotype out there, because we both posted something about this before, because I was trying to figure out how can I shift the things that I normally spend my money on to the Black community, right? Because a problem that I'm seeing is a lot of Black owned businesses are based off of luxuries or wants as opposed to necessarily needs.
Right.
So our basic needs are water, food, shelter, and there's not many water, food, shelters owned by Black people. Now the extras, of course, we're gonna get our hair done by Black people, because why wouldn't you?
Right. That's been a thing.
But of course, we're gonna get like our makeup done by Black people, because why wouldn't you?
It's been a thing.
But when it comes to our nails, so I get my nails done every couple weeks. So I'm like, well, let me find a Black person to try to shift that to, since that's something I'm gonna spend my money on anyway. And so I found a girl on Instagram, and she is bomb. Like, she does so good with nails.
Was that the girl that you were supposed to go to?
Yes, I'm gonna tell the story. So this girl, she does so well. Like, I'm not even going to take away from how good she is, because I had a bad experience with her. And so I made an appointment. I sent her a message. The day my appointment came up, I was running late. I sent her a message like maybe an hour before my appointment time, and was like, hey, I'm running behind. Is that okay? And she was like, no, I need to stick to a set schedule. I said, okay, cool. I said, she said, drop that name. No. For y'all that's listening, we're on Instagram Live while we're recording this. But she said, so I said, I'm going to be running late. Is that a problem? She said, no, I need to stick to a set schedule. So I said, okay, cool. So I'll just reschedule. I don't want to throw off your day. So I'll come tomorrow. I think I was teleworking the next day, so I didn't have a problem coming during the day. And so she was like, no, just come on. She's like, well, how late are you going to be? I said, well, I already done went back home, so it's going to be later now, because now I got to go back outside, get in the car, come to you. So I told her a time that I was going to be there. She said, okay. So I'm driving. Her address is in my GPS, so I could give her a realistic arrival time, because I'm on a GPS. So her place obviously is not easy to get to, because she sent me a text message like, call me when you get to this point so I could guide you to where to go. So I was like, she's probably doing this out in an apartment. That's what I was thinking. But I was like, all right, I could fight if need be. So I'm about to just go.
I can fight if need be.
So I go, and she calls me. So I'm like, hey, my GPS dropped me off at this place. I don't think I'm in the right spot. So she was like, well, where are you? So I'm describing it to her. We're on the phone at this point. So as I'm describing it to her, she's getting like real hype. And I'm on the phone, and I'm the type of person, I'm good with conflict, and I stay calm for a very long time. It takes a lot to get me like turned up. So she's like, well, I don't understand. You must not be where you said you are, because if you was, you would see what I'm talking about. I said, well, I'm not there. So what am I supposed to be looking for? Maybe I could put a different address in my name in my GPS, or address in my GPS. So she's like, no. So she's just getting hyped. So I'm like, well, you seem a little upset, so I'll just go ahead and reschedule. So she was like, no, because I could have took somebody at this time. And then I was like, okay, I understand that, and I apologize for the inconvenience. Like, I didn't know that I was going to get lost with my GPS. And so she hung up on me. So I sat in the car to put the car in park, and was like, no, she did not just hang up on me.
Because
Lord Jesus and all your disciples, I need you to just give me patience, because she don't know I still have her address. And Tatum about 6 years ago would show up to her house and find it, but Tatum today is trying not to do that. So I was just like, whatever. So I just go home. Well, no, I didn't go home. I actually went to a nail salon in the area. I went on Yelp and was like, what's the closest nail salon to me? And so it was like, dang, I was trying to put the money back into my community, But this girl just tried me with this terrible ass attitude.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I didn't go to her anyway, because if she would have been sitting there doing my nails with an attitude, like filing my shit all hard or something, like I would have really been pissed off. So I think the experiences like that, and when I posted it online, everybody was like, that's why you can't go to Black-owned businesses, because the customer service is terrible. And I don't think the customer service with all Black businesses is terrible. I'm willing to try out a lot before I give up on my people. Right. So, but a lot of people have just given up on them. So
that's true.
And I know you had an experience recently with that too.
Yes, I went to get my taxes done. Was it like the beginning of February?
Lord, they messing up the coin.
Right, messing up my coin. The way they're set up, it's like they take walk-ins. Well, last year they were taking walk-ins starting at 1 o'clock. You could come in before 1, put your name on the list, and then come back, because they are busy and they're over in Marlow Heights. So you know the spaces over in Marlow Heights are like this. So you want to be in there first, so you're not crammed up. So I get in line around like 10:45. It's like 3 other ladies in front of me. So we've been here since 10 o'clock. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So we get inside. We're like, oh, we're here to put our name down on the list for the walk-in. She's like, oh, no. First, the lady said, do you have an appointment? We're like, this is walk-in day. She's like, oh yeah, we don't start taking walk-ins until 3:30. So we're like, well, last year we could come put your name on the list and you take walk-ins at 1. Yeah, we changed that policy. So when did you say, because there was nowhere to say, yeah, you changed the policy. So we're like, okay, whatever. So she's like, but if you're already in the system from last year, you can drop off your paperwork and whatever. And then once we complete it today, we'll call you back. I said, oh, I'm good with that. You can call me back later. So I drop it off. I go home. I'm laying there. I end up falling asleep because it was my day off. So I took a nap. My aunt calls me and she's like, you're going to be pissed. And I'm like, why? She said, well, your aunt and your cousin just went up there. They got their taxes done and they went 1:45.
What?
So they done walked in, got their taxes done, and they home chilling. So I call. I'm like, are my taxes done? You know, I got an attitude, so I'm not all chippery. I'm like, are my taxes done? They're like, oh, did we call you? You know, did you drop them off? I said, I dropped them off today at 11 o'clock when I came to sign in, but apparently you don't take walk-ins until 3:30. Oh yeah, it's not going to be done in about till like 3 to 4 days. I'm like, all right. Cool. So I'm trying to just like, I'm pissed at this point. Like I'm so aggravated. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So what happened? I went to work, went through a work week. It was like a Thursday. My aunt like, well, it's kind of like 3 days already. So you should call. So I call. I'm like, can I pick up my taxes today? Are they finished? The girl's like, oh, that's like a week process.
Okay.
At this point, y'all, I'm like, all right, I'm coming up there to get my taxes. Oh, they're not done. No, I'm coming to pick my shit up. Like, not that I don't care they're not done. I'm coming to get my stuff because you didn't have
I'm coming to collect my things.
My items. Like, because you're not, no. So I had basically just voiced that the customer service is one that was off because oh no, they not done. That's exactly we apologize for the miscommunication because I told them exactly what I was told and I sent the email. Nobody responded and they normally respond to their emails and I'm an email person, so I will blow your email up. So I sent it about 10 times. Resend because you're going to see my email. So that was that. Then the fact that all the employees don't know the same type of protocol, that's a problem. Yeah. How are you running a business and your employees are not knowledgeable of your policy? Like they all should have been saying the same thing. One saying later today, the next person saying 3 to 4 days, the next person saying a week. That's 3 different people. And when I called, I spoke to one lady and this is when I got told a week. I spoke to one lady and she said, okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to check. Another lady comes back on the phone. How can I help you? I said, I was talking to such and such. Oh yeah, that's fine. So what do you need help with? So now I'm already like, nah, give me my stuff. So I went there. They're looking. They had me in the system. He's like, is this you? I'm like, yeah. I said, so are my taxes done? Oh, no, they won't be done until sometime next week. Just give me my stuff back. Just give me my taxes. So I ended up getting my taxes back, and I filed them on TurboTax, which I'm pretty sure was developed by somebody that was white. Sorry. But that's what happens. I tried to go get my taxes done by the Black community and the Black culture. Again, last year he did a great job. You know, it was cool. I did sit there from 1 to 7 because that's how packed he was. That's why I tried to get there earlier this year. It didn't work out. So TurboTax did my taxes this year. So,
and that's unfortunate because I really wish that that wasn't a common issue. And unfortunately, it really is. But for everybody listening, everybody that's watching on live, like, I really don't want that to be the reason why you don't support Black businesses.
Right.
Like, I'm still looking for a nail tech. So if y'all know any in the DC area, let me know so I could stop giving my money to the Asians. So, because that's something I'm going to be doing anyway. And if y'all know any Black owned grocery stores, let me know too. But another thing that I've noticed with Black businesses is that the prices are higher. So it's a beauty supply store by you in Fort Washington, and they're a Black owned beauty supply store, but they prices I noticed is like $1 or $2 more expensive than the one down the street that the Asians run. And I was kind of figuring out, like, why? Why is it the lack of resources? It may be the Asians are easily able to import things from China or something and cut costs. Like, what is it? And what can we really do to lower our costs so that we can actually be able to invest in Black owned businesses? Because to be honest, the only reason I stayed at that beauty supply store is because they was Black. I wanted to go 2 lights up to
but you sucked it up and put your coin into
because I was like, I could have saved money.
Right.
But and it sucks. Like, I really think that, one, we have to figure out how to get our costs down so we don't cost so much, and 2, cost for products. Now, services is different, honey.
I bet you saw my face. I said,
cost for products down, and definitely figure out how we can have better service. I think Chick-fil-A needs to do like a national people in business training, because Chick-fil-A got the best customer service ever.
They do have really nice
it don't matter
service.
what's going on at Chick-fil-A. How may I serve you? I could be like, I want 167 Polynesian sauces. They would give me every last one of them joints.
it's a great day at Chick-fil-A. Oh, is it? Great.
My day could be going terrible, but Chick-fil-A will put me in the mood. I'm like, you know what? I respect y'all, Chick-fil-A.
They got their little issues that they got going, but the customer service, I will give it to them.
Yeah.
That other shit that they got going.
Oh yeah, they got some character flaws.
Right, they have character flaws, but the customer service is A1.
Okay, so let's go to the other part of this girl's comment, because it was just so much. So then she says, a lot of Black women don't or can't accept true images of themselves. We have been brainwashed to look down on each other and think that anything we are selling or promoting is cheap and ghetto.
She's a bitter Betty.
For real, like, what? Huh? I don't agree with this one bit.
We've been brainwashed.
How,
sis?
I don't understand. I really don't understand. And I think, but to be honest, a lot of people feel like Black women they just can't get along. Because even like a lot of my guy friends are always be like, y'all girls can't keep friends. All y'all do is pin each other against each other and talk down on each other and stuff like that. Y'all don't really support each other. So how can other people support you? And I don't really agree. I think that there are people who don't support each other. There are women who hate on other women. There are women who bring each other down, but at the same time, those are character flaws. And I think the problem is just with people in general is people spend too much time focusing on the action and talking about the action as opposed to trying to figure out why people are acting that way. Right. Nobody is just mean by just to be mean. Most of the time, people who are vindictive or hurtful are hurt themselves. And so if you spend more time trying to empower each other and trying to have more programs that help with women's self-esteem and help with the struggles and the stuff like we talked about a couple episodes ago, those are the things that's going to help bring our community forward, because it's not that Black women can't work together or put each other down. The problem is Black women walk around every day with the world on their shoulders. We're everything to everybody except for ourselves. That is what the root is. We all have struggle, and there's beauty in struggle, because the most successful people have dealt with something. Those are the things that are able to make them be so successful and so effective. Absolutely. The negativity only comes from unaddressed issues. So comments like this really piss me off, because it's like you're pushing a narrative that's just what's the word I'm looking for?
It's disheartening. It really is.
And it's pointless. You're just perpetuating a stereotype that's unnecessary.
Instead of being so negative and being a bitter Betty, what can we do? to motivate each other? What can we do to ensure that in our community we're including each other? We're including, you know, we're not doing the same thing that we're speaking on right now, but instead she wanted to talk about how we're brainwashed, how it's ghetto, and how it's this, and how your opinion really wasn't needed, sis. Because now I don't want to work with you. I don't want to see you. But see, that's the thing. You just brought that upon yourself by being negative. You know, like, just like you said, instead of empowering each other, you want to be negative, and now somebody that has no interest in even dealing with you.
And I don't think that anything involving Black women is ghetto. Like, there are a lot of beautiful campaigns that have Black women on it. Like, what is girl? Whatever.
She's a chop. Can we chop her? Chop.
You and these words. We need to have a Milan dictionary. So let's talk about this Forbes article. So there's an article on Forbes that's like trending on social media right now. A lot of Black women in business are posting it. First of all, the article is from 2014. So I'm just trying to figure out who found this all over again. And now it's just now trending. But if y'all want to look it up, the title is "What Do Black Women Millionaires Do Differently?" and it's written by Anna Bonney. Excuse me if I pronounced her name wrong. Who's a contributor at Forbes. So this article is extremely interesting, and I'm going to read a little bit of the beginning. It says that Dr. Opal Reese, an entrepreneur and academic who is the CEO of Defy Impossible, says, drawing on her 20 years of teaching, research, and personal experience, rising up from a homeless youth in Baltimore to the recipient of a PhD, she examines Black women's history to guide people to some ways to earn more for men and women of all ethnicities. Hold on. She says, looking at the dual narrative for Black women seems to be a paradox. On one hand, businesses owned by women of color, 42% of them African American, have skyrocketed since 1997. This has far surpassed even the impressive growth rates of businesses owned by all women. And they've grown far faster in terms of revenues and employees than the average for all women. So then she says, on the other hand, compared with other women in the U.S., Black women are less likely to be employed, insured, to hold college degrees, or to be represented in elected office. So this is an interesting part. She says, the survival strategies our ancestors learned from slavery are passed down to us and become our normal. We're taught that to feel good about ourselves, we have to work hard, sacrifice for others, prove ourselves, overcome. And those survivor skills for which we are socially rewarded. But when we allow society to dictate our inherent value and our self-worth, we'll always come up short. So I thought that was interesting. That actually speaks back to what we were talking about earlier about how we, as Black women, we always show up for everybody but ourselves. And like she said here, it's like if we working hard, we showing up for everybody else, and we have a seemingly good career, then society says that we're doing all right. But instead of showing up for ourselves and actually doing what's fulfilling to us, which is going to make us be happy as opposed to making everybody else happy. Like, I think that's a really good point. So let's go down. I
screenshotted my favorite point. Hold on.
Another one of the quotes says, our self-worth and our mindset around money are our biggest barriers to breaking the $1 million mark. Now that's crazy. Our self-worth and our mindset around money are the biggest barriers to breaking that $1 million mark. What?
That was my favorite one. Oh. That's how I was looking to pull up. That's funny.
And I think that's dope because if you think about it, a lot of people downplay self-worth. And I love this quote because, of course, I'm like always preaching for women to love themselves and for girls to love themselves. And I think that self-worth and self-esteem is the foundation for everything. Yeah, peace, success, happiness. And the problem is, again, as Black women, we don't always deal with the things that's causing us to have low self-esteem and a low sense of self-worth. And I could spend a whole episode talking on that.
I was about to say, we're going to make that episode.
But moving on to the points. The first point is they make money from what they know instead of what they do. As employees, Reese says we rent our behaviors for a certain number of hours each day. We're paid to use our skills and accomplish tasks that benefit our employer. She suggests giving up the working class mentality of making money from what you do and start making money from what you know. Everyone has a skill, but not everyone has your story and your particular perspective on life. What you've learned is your $1 million message that can be monetized to launch your entrepreneurial dream.
I love that.
That is good. And that is so freaking true, because it's like, for me, full time, I do marketing for an accounting firm in DC. Okay. And so they pay me for what I know how to, for what I do. I load stuff up on a social media. I create content. I communicate with editors. I help them get published. I'm exchanging my time for a paycheck, as opposed to what I know, which is so much more than what is in my job description.
I'm a program assistant for the United States Department of Agriculture. That's all right. You can't hear me? Y'all can't hear me? Hello?
Yeah, but
mic check 1 2 1 2.
You just got to talk a little loud.
Hey, y'all. Thanks. So what I was saying, I am a program assistant for the USDA. And that's just what I do. I know how to do it. It's not really much to it. You literally answer the phone. You give the people the numbers that they're calling for, which may 9 times out of 10 not, be within the jurisdiction of USDA, and you move on. I graduated with a degree in public relations. I am a public relations professional. I have a company based on public relations. That's what I know. Yeah, they don't pay me for that.
And another point that she said was your perspective or your story is that $1 million message. Like, that's the truth. And that goes back to what we were saying last week about having that unique seller's perspective. The unique selling proposition. And that's your story.
Right.
A lot of people may be publicists. A lot of people may be coaches. A lot of people may have mentoring programs, but nobody can sell your message the way that you do. Nobody else has your unique knowledge and your unique skill set. So I think that it's extremely important to really hone into what she's saying. So her next point was, and this is one that we really talk about on this show, don't leave your day job until you have replaced your income. Keep the job that's paying the bills while you work on the side to market your message and build your revenue streams. If you're panicking about keeping the lights on, you're not going to have the enthusiasm and the creativity necessary to give your entrepreneurial dream your full power. But once you've making enough money, okay, that was a typo. But once you're making enough money to replace the salary, give up the day job.
Can you agree to that? Or do you feel like some people should just jump?
No, I don't believe in jumping.
Okay.
I think let me take that back. I believe in jumping, but I also believe in mitigating risk. We're going to strategically jump. You know what I'm saying?
Have a parachute.
Yes. The Bible even says faith without works is dead. So right. I can't believe God to provide for me after I quit my job without putting in the necessary steps and the actions to be able to be taken care of. So, for example, with me preparing to leave my job, like I know a lot of people right now who recently left theirs, and it's kind of messing with me a little bit, to be completely honest. It's like, I'm ready to go. But it's like, one, it's not my time just yet. And two, I have to be confident in that I already have a plan and I know where my money is coming from to be able to quit my job. And we even talked about this when Raven was on the show, is you have to figure out. And she said replace your salary. And I don't necessarily agree with replacing your salary, but I agree with replacing the income to where you meet your needs. Right. Because a lot of times we may have this super high salary in our job and we may not even need all of that. Right. So it's going to take me longer to match a 6-figure income than it would for me to match a $50,000 income if that's all that I need to really survive. So really getting that blueprint as to how much you need to make and then coming up with those different revenue streams so that you can be able to make that and be able to comfortably leave your job, I think is important.
Absolutely. I agree. And the reason why I asked that question is because, you hear so many stories about people living out their cars. Like, I quit my 9 to 5. I lived out my car for a year or, 6 months and, I was just out here grinding it out. So that's why I asked, what's your take on that? Do you think it should be strategically done, or you think people should just jump? And then what sense with them jumping is acceptable? Like, what path is that? Like, is it ones that are musicians that want to just jump because they have to travel so many places to be seen? So you quit your 9 to 5, so you just jump and just travel and live out your car. Like, it's levels to it. So where is it acceptable at, or you think it should always just be strategic?
I think everything in life should be strategic.
Okay.
I don't believe in just doing anything to just do it, because I just don't think that makes sense. And that could just be me. That's just how I think.
No, we on the same page. Listen, I was just asking. I'm agreeing with you, but it's just that we see it so often, the stories, like the stories that you get inspired by. Like Taraji moved to LA on all she had was $600. And everybody like, oh, maybe I can move to LA on just $600 and not have anything. But
that's different though, because all of her jobs was in LA. So if you think about it, her flying back and forth to LA would be way more expensive than her just packing up what she had and going there and maybe getting a job to make a little money on the side. So that's just different. And it depends on your situation. It definitely depends on your situation, but whatever you do should always be strategic.
Right. If you don't have a strong savings account that can help you, don't quit that job.
And not even a savings account. Have actual revenue streams within your business. Because if, like we said last week, if you save up 6 months worth of living expenses, but you don't have your business model is jacked up, then after 6 months, you ain't going to have no money and you're going to be back in the same place you was 6 months prior. So you really have to figure out, how am I going to make money and how is it going to be consistent? And that's where diversifying your revenue streams come in. So for example, if Milan is a publicist, so if she has different clients, she knows that her clients retainer, or however you make money off of them, that's one source of income. But if you have a program to where you're training other women how to be publicists, so let's say you have a certain month program, then you know that that's a steady income for those amount of months. So with me, I know that the Queen Group is going to make me a certain amount of money a month. And I know that in order to sustain my necessities and to be able to leave my job, I need a certain amount of clients contracted in order to make that transition. And so it's a plan. I'm not jumping. I keep telling you, I ain't jumping nowhere. I'm going to plan and execute. So the next one is don't position yourself as a low-cost leader. Imagine starting out as a Kia, then trying to become a Bentley. The market won't believe you. If you want to go high end, you have to stop charging low. It takes clarity, trust, and confidence to up your rates. But it also forces you to get real clear on why people should pay you top dollar. Absolutely. If you start low with the intention of going high, you attract all the people looking for a deal. These folks would not want to pay more. That's good.
That's true.
And I think that's where a lot of people make a mistake. And this was something that I even struggled with when it came to developing the Queen Group. It was like, well, how much am I going to charge? And then even talking to my business coach about it, she was like, you have to think, you can't charge low, or you can't keep offering people a deal. That's what they always going to want. And I even mentioned this, it might have been to you or to somebody else. It was like, there's this hair company I like. It's called Bougie Hair. And so they bundles are good. I like weaves, y'all, if y'all know. So their bundles are like really, really good. And so they always do like an $80 bundle deal. Like on the holidays, they always have like a deal for hair. So I plan my hair purchases around that. It's like, I'm not going to pay you the top dollar you ask for on a normal basis because I know it's a deal coming up. Right. So it's the same thing with other people. You can't just be charging people a low amount. You have to actually charge your worth and be confident in that.
Absolutely.
Like I had a call with somebody the other day and about my program. And so I told her the price. And so she said something that was kind of interesting to me. She said, she said she could pay that for something else. She was like, well, I could use that money. I don't want to give too many details because I don't want to seem like I'm putting her out there. But she said something like, well, I could use that to purchase something. And I'm like, you could, but you're not going to get what I'm giving you. You're not going to get all of this that comes with the program. You're not going to get somebody that's walking you straight and giving you a blueprint straight into what your goals are. You're not going to get that. And I'm confident in my abilities to where I'm not tripping. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I had to think about it with myself. When I joined a coaching program, it was like, when I had the conversation with her, I knew what my goals were. And I'm the type where if you could take me there without me having to bump my head on everything myself, I'm going to join the program. If I see value in you and what you bring to the table, you got me. And so when I had that initial call and she told me the price, I was just like, okay, cool. Let me call you back. I'm going to go get my money together. I'm going to revisit this budget and I'm going to come back and we're going to figure it out. And so that's what I did. And I joined the program. And that was the best investment I could have ever made in my business.
That's good.
And so with me, even with setting my prices, I have to understand what knowledge I bring to the table. I bring my $1 million message, like we just talked about. I bring my knowledge that I learned from doing other programs, and I bring my experiences and expertise, whether it be marketing, because that's my professional trade. So when it comes to pricing, y'all don't think that you have to lower your prices. Don't be cheap. You don't be a Kia and try to be a Bentley, like they said. Understand that if you're bringing top dollar value, then people will need to pay you top dollar. And if they can't, they're not your ideal client.
And I know it's going to get hard, you guys, because you're going to get so many clients and so many people that are interested in what you do. And they're like, oh, well, my budget isn't that high, or, you know, and that's okay. This is not their time. If they can't figure it out, they can't figure it out. But don't lower yourself, because the moment you start lowering yourself, think about how much money you're really going to make. So if you have let's say your set price is $750 a month or whatever it may be, and you have a client that says, oh, I can only pay you $250. Total your bills for that year. Total how much you'd made off of $250 from 4 clients. It's probably not going to be anywhere near what you need to make. So you're never going to progress. You're never going to grow. So don't cut yourself short, because the moment you cut yourself short, you're going to be in the same position at a 9 to 5. You're going to be in the same position, still trying to be an entrepreneur full time for a really, really long time.
And then you're going to have like 10 clients, and you still got to work a 9 to 5. Why do you have so many clients and you're not making enough money yet?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And that even goes to this next point on the Forbes article. It says trade on value instead of volume. Another pitfall of charging low is that it is dependent upon a high volume of people buying in order for you to earn a living. When you move into the world of high-end leadership, you don't make money from volume. You make your money from the value you bring to your clients. The more value you provide, the more you can charge. Value can be tangible, emotional, prestige, exclusivity, or customization. And that's so true. And the more that you invest in yourself, the more that you could charge other people. Because if I say I just went through a $10,000 program, you think I'm going to still charge you a little bit of money? No, I can charge you more, because now I have a new level. I have more value to add. Absolutely. I spent the time and the money and the resources to become even more of an expert in this field so that I can help you. And like we said a second ago, you don't want to, you have to be smart. And working a 9 to 5 job and needing 68 clients, I give the most random numbers, but needing 68 clients in order to leave your job, that don't make no sense.
That's so deep.
And you're going to drive yourself crazy, because you got to serve 68 people, and you got to work a 9 to 5, and you got to do all this other stuff. You setting yourself up. So pricing is like one of the most important things. So you guys, these are the habits and the lessons from why Black women, what was the title it is? I forgot already. What Black women millionaires do differently. Yeah. So these are some things that you guys can apply to your business, to your business model, so that you and us too can start acting more like Black women millionaires, because we're going to be millionaires. Y'all are going to be millionaires. So we got to start acting like it now and get out of that middle class mentality, so that we can get all the blessings that we're supposed to have. So
and invest in yourself. Invest in yourself and your brand if you want others to invest in you. Keep that in mind.
Exactly. You can't be out here just trying to get everything for free and thinking that that's going to work. It's not.
That free 99 rule that everybody look for ain't coming, but yeah, that's our piece.
Exactly. So let's take a break, and then we're going to come back with questions. And we're back with questions from our listeners. If you guys want to submit a question, send us a message on our Instagram at Black Girl Bosses, or send us an email, blackgirlbosses@gmail.com, or visit us on the web at www.blackgirlbosses.com.
All right. Our first question is from She Is Sick. Would you recommend sending sponsored letters via email or snail mail? Which is more effective?
I definitely don't think there's a one-size-fit-all approach. I would definitely try to do both, and probably even put them together in some sort of campaign. And so start off by sending an email, then a few days later might ship off some type of snail mail, and then maybe a few days later send them another email or call to see if they received my package. And in the snail mail, though, make sure that you have everything right there. So what they're investing in, what it is they're donating their time or money or services or products or whatever into, and have it be nice and pretty and extremely informative for them. So I would try both and then just see which one is the most effective. If sponsors seem to be responding more to one way over the other, you can adjust accordingly, but definitely don't rule one out. Try different things out and see what happens. I personally just believe getting things in the mail has the chances of being more effective just solely because everybody doesn't do it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The creativity piece of it is what you're always looking for. So you want to take the route that people normally don't use, because then it's kind of like a surprise and it catches their eye. Like, okay, so, this person did something differently. So they're actually going to be a little bit more engaged in what you're trying to offer and what you're trying to do. So I definitely can concur with Tatum. Our next question is from Care Zone Box. They have 2 questions. The first question is, what are some ways to grow your business online and how to get sponsors for your business?
Well, we definitely just covered the sponsorship part, so I'll ping that back to you for that question. But the online strategy should be a part of a bigger marketing strategy. So you should really figure out first, what is the goal? And the goal should definitely be sales. But so, for example, if you have a service and you're trying to get, let's say, 5 clients within your program or whatever it is that you're offering, then your online marketing should supplement that. And you should always leave with something, for example, like email addresses. So for my website, I have a free resources suite, and that's basically a marketing strategy for me to collect people's email addresses and information so that I can continue to reach out to them. And it's also a qualifier, because we said before, you should be totally comfortable with turning down clients if they're not who your ideal customer is. So it's a qualifier. So my free resources suite is full of things that appeals to women in business or new or aspiring entrepreneurs, who's the target audience for my program. So with that, I'm able to collect their email address, and then they go into a email sales funnel. And so the first email gives them the password to the suite so they can go and access all the content that's there. And then a few days later, they'll get another email. And a few days after that, they'll get another email. And then 6 or so emails later, it'll actually be the pitch for them to get on the phone with me, and we schedule a call and figure out if the program is the best fit for them. So that's an online strategy. It's not necessarily social media based, but social media is normally what drives people to the website in the first place, because I might post about what I'm offering, or I might do a blog post that backs up one of the items that's going to be in that free resources suite. And so I would say do something like that, but make sure that complements whatever your ultimate goal is. I know what my goal is for people to be enrolled in the Queening group. And so everything I do online, all the content that I put out is going to be a strategy that supports that goal. So definitely think about doing something like that for your business as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree. And that traffic to your Instagram or whatever social media platform you may utilize is definitely going to be important for that cross promotion to draw them to your website and build those online sales, as Tatum stated. For your sponsorship, how to get sponsors for your business. It's super, super hard for sponsors, only because you have to reach out for one, and have to make sure when you're reaching out is solid. So that goes from having a solid sponsorship presentation, a solid sponsorship deck, a solid sponsorship pitch within the body of the email that you're sending. And I can never say this enough, within the subject line, you want your subject lines to be catchy. So you don't want it to seem like it's spam. You don't want it to just read like it's just a regular email. You definitely want it to stand out. So be creative within the subject line that you're creating. For your sponsorship package, you definitely want to include what you're seeking, what the business event or whatever it may be. You want to include details about that. You want to include what you're seeking from that sponsor and how them sponsoring can benefit them. So that comes down from those sponsorship offers. So that's whether getting promotion ran on your website that reaches 15,000 people, but then you don't want to reach out to somebody who has 1.5 million followers and you're telling them 15,000 people are going to see their, promotion or ad, because then it may not seem sufficient to them, only because they already have 1.5 million following. So, that's going to be one of those things where you got to really just know who you're reaching out to and make sure that the person you're reaching out to, you can give them something of benefit to them. What else can I tell you about sponsors? Sponsors are so hard. You just have to really reach out and try. Even if you call your local stores and ask them, pitch the idea, whatever you're trying to get sponsored, and see if they offer sponsorships, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to direct you to their manager. Then their manager will take it from there. I've done that several times for several clients. And they're like, oh yeah, sure, we love the sponsor. It may not have been monetary. It may have been in kind. So it could have been something from their store, such as gift cards or, backpacks, but that definitely cut some of the costs in which we had to, handle as far as like our gift bags and stuff. So calling people, just finding out their sponsorship policies, doing your research about the sponsorship policies that they have, and then developing your deck and presentation and your package to match what you researched, and then go ahead and send it out. Just make sure that, like I said, that subject line is catchy and that the body of your email reads, it basically is selling your business, your brand, the idea, so they can reach back out to you to learn more, to show that they may just want to sponsor you. So that would be, that's my take on it. So hopefully that helps you. Our next question is anonymous. It comes from, how often should we have meetups and events? We've been having monthly events and we want to have many more. How many is too many? So they're coming from a knowing space. They already have the idea. They just kind of, okay, I got you.
I think it all depends, again, on what your ultimate goal is. All right, what is that ultimate sell? Are you simply just trying to have events for fellowship? In that case, I would do them maybe once a month, because I think anything over once a month is just a little bit excessive. But if your ultimate goal, let's say, is registration for whatever it is that you're selling, then pay attention to how many people you're able to get registered at each event. So, for example, if you say I need 10 people registered for this program to meet my goal, and I'm seeming to get 2 registrations every event, then that means you need to have 5 events in order to reach your goal. So that's a way to figure that out. But most importantly, I think just really figure out what the goal is, and also figure out what your target audience wants. So whether that means sending out a survey to past event participants and asking them what they think, how often would they like to come to these type of events? Would they bring a friend? What they look for from you guys. So I would really get in touch with them and figure out exactly what it is that they want after you figure out what your goal is for the event.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't want to have content that you're repeating. You don't want to seem long drawn out if you're having too many meetings. So if you're having 2 meetings a week every month, then it's going to be like, okay, you're going to be scrambling for content, or what you're going to be talking about that week. You're going to try to make sure you're not repeating yourself, and you're going to wear yourself out. It's probably where your where your supporters are who actually comes to these meetings. So I say once monthly as well, just stick to that. So then that way it builds up momentum. You have a lot to talk about because the month has went past, things like that will definitely be efficient for being successful, and definitely giving you that idea of how many times you should hold these meetings. So yeah, great answer, Tay. I like that.
So that's it for the questions?
Yeah, that was it for our questions. You guys did good this week.
Yay. And we're back with the wins of the week. If you guys want us to shout you out and celebrate your wins, send us a message on our Instagram page at Black Girl Bosses, or send us an email at blackgirlbosses@gmail.com, or you can always go on our website at www.blackgirlbosses.com. So the first win comes from Mays Alexis. I haven't officially graduated cosmetology school yet, and I have over 4 interviews for a salon position. The next one comes from Nerdia. It's literally in like 4 hours. I went back to North Carolina A&T, my alma mater, to recruit students to work for my current company. I also was able to hold a workshop all about personal branding at a career fair. Marlene Francois. Hey, Marlene. I handed in my resignation letter on Friday. Yay. Now I could focus on growing my private practice and getting serious with my nonprofit at Far More Precious org. Crying face emoji. God is good. Congratulations.
Yes. Yes.
At events by CCM, exclaimed, event and great. Maybe she means excellent. Excellent, I'm gonna assume, event and great turnout for the at Melanin Girl Movement meetup in Atlanta, Georgia yesterday. 50 tickets all sold out. Events by CCM did the decor. I can't wait for the next meetup. Hashtag Melanin Girl Movement to see the photos.
Yes. Yes.
Congratulations. And I'm going to shout out my friend Tish. She actually recently resigned from her job. So I'm proud of her. She didn't comment, but I'm going to shout her out anyways. Congratulations.
Yes. Yes.
So Milan, what were your wins this week?
I got an A on my one of my final papers, so that was a win. I got a 98 on it.
Yes. Yes.
And another win is that I'm actually wrapping up the first class of the spring semester, so then I'll be entering my second class and my last class of graduate school, and then I will be great and clear to walk on May 20th.
Yes. Yes.
So that's it for me. That was the highlight of my life.
Last week you was just talking about that B.
Right. And right now I have a 83. So if I get 2 more A's, I can bump into that A.
Yeah.
So, I was struggling at first. Remember I had a 69, I had that D. So God is good, honey. That's it for me.
Oh, I thought she was about to press the button again.
Oh no, I don't get no more yeses. I'm good.
So this week was a really good week for me. I'm going to be a part of an event. I will announce it a little bit later. I'm also going to be a part of a Twitter chat. It's the Her Movement Twitter chat on March 28th.
Yes. Yes.
And it's going to be all about like how to start a podcast and stuff like that. And so I don't even be on Twitter, to be honest. So I'm going to dust off my Twitter fingers and participate. But you guys definitely follow me on Twitter at Tatum Temia, TatumTemia, and tune in for that.
Yes. Yes.
And I also sent out an email on Tuesday. I think I mentioned this earlier, to our email address as well as my email address. And I talked a little bit about the Queen Group in the program. And I had about 15 and counting discovery calls within like the first day.
Yes. We like that.
Yes.
So I'm really, really excited about that. So if any of you guys are interested in learning more about the Queen Group and the program and what I will be offering, send me a message at tatum@thequeenacademy.com. You can also send me a message via my Instagram, which is Tatum Temia, TatumTemia. I also want to note, I love all of you guys, but this program is for new and aspiring, and by aspiring entrepreneurs, I mean people who have an idea and they're ready to take action and invest in themselves now. So all of our college ambitious girls, I love y'all, but the Queen Group is for new and aspiring entrepreneurs. If you guys want us to work with you in any way or come and talk to your school, send us a message and we definitely won't mind coming and talking at a school. But the Queen Group is for new and aspiring entrepreneurs. So you don't got to give me another one.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I'm in the yes mode. I was in the mode. Okay.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of the Black Girl Boss Podcast. And we will holla at y'all next week.
See ya.